This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore.
This episode is brought to you by ZBiotics. Let's talk about Marjorie Taylor Greene and the situation over on Twitter loosely. Marjorie Taylor Greene was banned last year, I believe, from the platform for spreading lies and disinformation about COVID. Dangerous misinformation about COVID. We've now learned from different studies that a large percentage, a greater percentage of Republicans pre-vaccine died of COVID than did Democrats. And those percentages kind of leveled out after a vaccine was available. But it was damaging, to say the least, to Americans all across the country to have this glut of misinformation spread about the virus. And there were many people, for many reasons, that have been banned from Twitter, including Donald Trump. She's back on now. Many people, the Jordan Petersons, there's all kinds of bigots and homophobes and anti-Semites that have been let back onto the platform. And she went on the other day and gave this rambling video, and play a little bit of, proclaiming that free speech is dead. And making a claim that she's going to do, that she's going to test every limit of free speech in this particular video. She did not do that. But this is a harbinger of things to come on the platform of Twitter. And we're going to talk about all of this. But before we do, a word from today's sponsor, ZBiotics. While I often look like a suit on camera, this guy loves a good time. You probably figure that out, though. With the holidays approaching, I expect some later nights than usual as I look to count the blessings of this year and what it has brought. I'm no longer a spring chicken, which you can also probably tell, and having a few can cause real trouble the next day. My solution, ZBiotics. ZBiotics breaks down the alcohol byproducts responsible for rough mornings after drinking. If you too enjoy drinks and friends, but have a busy day on the horizon, ZBiotics is perfect for you. Just one ZBiotics before you start drinking is all you need to have an enjoyable night or day and still be productive tomorrow. Get 15% off of your first order of ZBiotics pre-alcoholic probiotic when you go to zbiotics.com/Dollemore or simply click the link in the description below and use code Dollemore at checkout. Engineered by PhD scientists, ZBiotics is real science that works. Every time I have ZBiotics before drinking, I am shocked at how good I feel the next day. It's now my go-to, as I know I can easily get up and get working in the studio, even if I went out the night before and stayed out a little late. You too can feel this good the next day. Give yourself or your friends the gift of better tomorrow with ZBiotics. Support this channel and score 15% off of your first order when you go to zbiotics.com/Dollemore or simply click the link in the description below and use the code Dollemore at checkout. Remember to drink responsibly and keep it classy this holiday season. So let me read you two paragraphs from this article in The Week entitled, "Reactivated Marjorie Taylor Greene Vows to Test Every Limit of Free Speech on Twitter." Less than 1 year after Twitter permanently, in quotes here, quote unquote, permanently suspended Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene's personal account from its platform for violating its company policy on COVID-19 misinformation, the Georgia Republican returned Monday to the site she'd once blasted as, quote unquote, an enemy to America. Greene's account is a beneficiary of new owner Elon Musk's rolling effort to reactivate predominantly far right-wing figures previously barred under Twitter's earlier leadership, including former president and insurrection insider Donald Trump. I added my own ad-lib there to describe Donald Trump. They did not. In more than an hour-long broadcast from her newly resurrected personal account, her official congressional account, Rep. MTG, has remained active since her suspension. Oh, they're given context here. It was written a little wonky, or I read it wonkily. Wonkily. We'll go with it. has remained active since her suspension. Greene vowed to spend her time testing every limit of free speech that I have, asking at one point, why does it take a billionaire buying Twitter to restore people's freedom of speech? So because I like to back up what we say, the claims that we make here, I'm not just going to read that she said it and not show you that she said it. So here's a very brief clip of her saying that very thing about testing every limit of free speech that I have, and we'll find out how much free speech I actually have. Here is that moment.
And guess what? I have the free speech to say that. Or do I? I don't know. I think I'm going to spend my entire time on this video testing every limit of free speech that I have. And we'll find out how much free speech I actually have.
And now there's two other clips I want to play you very briefly. We're talking about less than a minute and a half of time here. The first is this moment where she's introing the video and declares, she proclaims boldly that free speech is dead.
Well, now that I have a bunch of you paying attention, I think it's time to talk about how free speech is dead.
Oh, Marge. Oh, Marge. It's dead. Look at this view count. This is when I took a screenshot of this particular video, this live stream that she did. 444,500 people, nearly 500,000 people, she's directly communicating to using her freedom of speech, but free speech is somehow dead. This from the same dum-dum who wore like no free speech or a censored mask while speaking into a microphone on the floor of the United States House of Representatives. I mean, it strains logic and reason, but of course it does. It's Marjorie Taylor Greene. Now, here is 68 seconds. Here is 68 seconds from this video of her at the very beginning, too, going on this wide-ranging ramble about truth and what is truth and why free speech is no longer a thing, even though she's again speaking to 500,000 people. Watch this.
So, how did we get to this place? Well, I want to talk about what is truth. Remember, it was some years back where we started hearing people talk about my truth or your truth. And people started blending the lines of truth, just blending them to the point where there wasn't truth. Truth wasn't absolute anymore. It was true. Truth was in the eye of the beholder. And truth was whatever that person wanted truth to be. Well, really what that is that destroys truth. It creates lies. And then there was certain truth, or some people's truth, or really lies that got chosen to be the truth that big tech, the media, and those running the government decided to make popular. And it was those certain truths that were uplifted, but yet other people's truth, even though apparently your truth, you could have your truth, but your truth didn't matter anymore because your truth was wrong. Your truth was dangerous. Your truth was extreme. And your truth had to be banned because your truth was the wrong truth.
Truth. Truth, 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 and truth. Truthy, truth, truths, truth, truth. Truth, 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 truth. I actually went through, counted them. She said truth 24 times in 68 seconds. That's saying the word truth every 2.8 seconds. And didn't say anything. It was a rambling screed. It was a gumbo of nonsense, if you will. The problem here is that we continue to elect stupid people to office. The First Amendment guarantees that Congress shall make no law abridging the freedom of speech. Congress shall make no law. There is indeed no law abridging her free speech. But because she got banned, one of her 2 accounts got banned from Twitter, She is proclaiming boldly that free speech is dead. And truth, 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 truth. Your truth is not the truth because the truth is the truth. And the truth can be your truth, but not the real truth because it's suppressed truth. It's your truth. Stop electing stupid people to office, Georgia. Stop. Look, there's more of this to come. It's going to get worse before it gets better. These people are emboldened now. They've taken a very slim majority in the House, and they're going to continue to stir up the emotions of the base with people who don't really understand the Constitution, who don't understand what the freedom of speech is. They don't understand the First Amendment with any even elementary understanding. It's a problem. What do you think about this? I'd love to know. You can call, leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can absolutely email me, daily@dollemore.com. I'd love to hear from you. You can also connect with me on social media. You can utilize your free speech on Twitter by connecting with me at Dollemore on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. All of those, I'm out here spreading some free speech all around with my truths. If you appreciate what I do, I would love it if you would consider supporting my work, helping produce my work. Click the join button below this video, become a channel member for as little as $1.99 a month, or you can go over to patreon.com/IDoubtIt podcast. Both those are great ways to help support what we're doing right here. I love you guys. I appreciate you very much. I'll see you next time. Until I do, be genuine. Take care of one another.